Are new Bible versions the abomination of desolation? First, let's define the word desolation. The dictionary defines desolate as being barren or laid waste, deprived or destitute of inhabitants, deserted, uninhabited. The Bible speaks of desolation as having no children or being barren, unable to have children. The children God has in mind are spiritual children. When the gospel reaches someone and they become saved, they become a child of God. Near the end of the world, the true gospel is being pinched off and replaced by a gospel that is more acceptable to man, that doesn't offend him. This new gospel is being ushered in as we bring new Bible versions into the church. This is the falling away that must happen first, as we see in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. These new Bible versions are an abomination to God as they change what the Bible teaches. These new versions don't just replace old words, they change the very doctrines of the Bible, so much so that modern, mainstream churches are unrecognizable from the church of the past. Let's look at the word abomination. We see that it is often used to describe the difference between the true gospel and other religions. As we see in the first several uses of the word in the Bible, the way of the children of God is an abomination to the Egyptians, the world. Genesis chapter 43. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians, which did eat with him, by themselves. Because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews. For that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Genesis chapter 46. That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth even until now, both we, and also our fathers. That ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Exodus chapter 8. And Moses said, It is not meet so to do. For we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? The converse is true as well, that which is esteemed of men is an abomination before God. Therefore we can see that any other gospel or religion is an abomination to God and will not bear spiritual children but be desolate. As we replace the Word of God in our holy places, the churches, with new Bible versions that are an abomination to God, those churches become desolate. They bring forth no spiritual children to God. They are as barren as the fig tree that Jesus pronounced would never again bear fruit. That fig tree represents spiritual Israel. We know Jesus was talking about Israel no longer bearing fruit, as we see him also declare Jerusalem desolate in Luke chapter 13. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, which killest the prophets, and stonest them that are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, as a hen doth gather her brood under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. We see Jesus is teaching that Jerusalem rejected the word of God by killing his prophets, so they reject the true gospel and become spiritually barren, or desolate. We see the same reflected in Job 15. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate. So we see that being desolate means not bearing spiritual children or fruit. We also see from that verse in Luke chapter 13 that the holy place is no longer Israel. Neither can the temple be the holy place, as the veil was rent when Jesus was on the cross and sacrifice and oblation ceased shortly after Jesus' death and resurrection. There will be no future temple, as God has abandoned the nation of Israel and opened up the gospel to the Gentiles, the whole world. As a church, we can only bear spiritual fruit if we are using the Word of God. When we replace the King James Bible with one of hundreds of abominable new versions in our churches, we are setting up an abomination that makes desolate in the holy place.